Hello and welcome back to Taki Space Program with me, Taki117. Here we're sitting on the launch pad getting ready to launch a satellite. It is a night launch based on the orbit we're going into. And this has become my fairly standard launcher, I've noticed. So here we go, we're all set up, launching in 3. Let's move some stuff around here. There we go. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff. We have cleared the tower. So this is a contract satellite. I know last episode I said I wouldn't film this, but it's gotten to the point where I kind of wanted to. Otherwise this episode would be rather boring and take a very, very long time to get anything done. I did go ahead and redesign my interplanetary communications satellite. It now generates a lot more power. Let's... oh. There we go. Oh no. No. I want to be going the other way. So what I'm doing is I'm slowly turning my rocket so that we're going the correct direction, and I think I actually need to be going 175. So I was going the completely wrong direction. There we go. So this rocket might take quite a bit of time. Let's see, it's 180, I need to be going 135. So here we go. There we go. Alright, so now we're gonna... Fortunately this rocket can handle it, and I'm sort of high up enough in the atmosphere that I can get away with doing that. Let me check my orbit here. Alright, so you know what? We're just going to wing it, and we're going to make our correction in orbit. Since I'm going the completely wrong way. I'm off by 124 degrees. Wow. Nope, should not have done that. And I want to go orbit prograde now. So, once again, mission is off to a uproarious start. No, it's not. So the good news is I can circularize, and I still have 5,000 meters a second and almost 5,500 meters a second of delta V to play with, so that I can execute that maneuver. This is going to take 1,300 of it, but it still gives me more than enough to execute any plane changes I will need. I should probably ditch that stage. activate that engine. 63 kilometers. So you can go ahead and ditch that fairing as well. And this is one of my redesigned satellites that has radioisotope thermoelectric generators on it. So I should be able to activate all of my antennas, and I should not need additional power. I'll actually point this one at my Venera 1 probe. Actually, no, I'll point it at my interplanetary satellite base, which is currently on its way to Venus. There we go, firing those engines. This will be quite the burn, simply because my ascent profile was less than ideal, since I was going the completely wrong way. So we're just gonna make that little correction here. Ooh, 1,000 meters a second, so that's only gonna leave me about 800 or so in my second stage here, so most of this might be done with a little engine on the satellite. Not a bad thing, just let's see, let's log some visual observations. Maybe I need to toggle the shutter for no, okay. What is this? Oh, apparently I'm too high for that one, but you know what? That's okay. Because I do have the multispectral imaging platform on there, which is awesome. So I need a communication network for Mars, a communication network for Venus. My Mariner 2 and Venera 1 contracts will be complete next episode. Or maybe next episode, depending on what I decide to do here. I might just time warp through all that. Like I said, I do have my Mars windows coming up, but I haven't done anything for that. I'm a little low on funds at the moment, so I might just let that one pass me by and come around the next time that window opens up. I do need... I think I'm just going to add on to my current space station with a science lab instead of trying to put a new one up. Beautiful engine effects there. Very detailed in there as well. I probably should have used a different second stage for this, but again, I royally screwed up my launch, and I'm now kind of stuck with it. So another 200 meters a second or so for our burn. Looks like 10 seconds left. You can see our periapsis finally pulling out of the ground. And I need to adjust my inclination to 149.2 degrees. And there goes that maneuver, now just barely using any throttle at all. So we come over. Not sure where we are based on the lights. Oh well. So now we're going to change, not our apoapsis, we're going to change our inclination to 49.2 degrees. And C, oh, that's going to take 3,420 meters a second. So, we are going to do, we're going to remove all of our nodes. We're going to take our apoapsis up to 2,000 kilometers, or 2 megameters. And what this allows us to do is perform that plane change for a lot cheaper than trying to do it close to the planet. Now, of course, unfortunately, I will be doing this fairly close to the surface at some point. But at least for now, take 572.6 meters a second. Now, before I did this, you noticed it was somewhere on the order of 3,500 meters a second of delta V. Close that alarm here. And hopefully by spending this 600 meters a second, that will reduce our cost when we perform the plane change at apoapsis. See, here's a good look at the satellite as we pass over the Gulf of Mexico. You can see I have these RTGs here that are providing plenty of power. Even with all of my antennas extended and activated, unlike my microsats, which have been completely redesigned almost from the ground up. They have a lot more electrical storage, a lot more power generation, and they should be self-sufficient now. So we are performing that burn. Oh, I'm not entirely sure where we are. Oh, I was wrong. We are over, looks like the Philippines. I thought it was the Gulf of Mexico. That was my mistake. Looks like I need to learn geography on the other side of the world. Oh well. So our delta V margin for this mission is very tight. Very, very tight. Good news is, hopefully, that will only take us about 500, 600 meters a second to recircularize. And I'm hoping the second stage here will be able to perform the required plane change. So we're going to change inclination. See, it's only going to take 1,100 meters a second now. And I am actually going to dump... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and dump my second stage. Ooh, I'm not sure what that was. I think those were my struts exploding, because it doesn't look like I've lost anything on my satellite here. Let's log some visual observations. Six science, I could always use that. Run out of electric charge, but that's okay because it is replenishing. So I'm just going to time warp a little bit so that we can finish out this transmission. And there it goes. There we go. Alright, so we are going to execute that node. Now, this will hopefully, yes, this will put us going. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Nope, don't want to do that. So it seems I have royally screwed up this mission. Alright, so let's add a maneuver. So the issue is my inclination needs to be 149.2, but the longitude of my ascending node needs to be 258.7 degrees. So I can have the inclination correct, but not the longitude of my ascending node. This is what I get for completely screwing up my mission. Add a maneuver here. No, I need to be going the other way. Alright, so my satellite is currently moving from left to right, and it needs to be going from right to left. Okay, that's not bad. That will at least get me going the mostly correct direction. This is what I don't like about when I screw up my launch profiles. Alright, you know what? Trying to think how I want to do this, basically based on my current orbit versus where I need to be. This maneuver isn't going to work, but none of the maneuvers are going to work. So let's see if I can Surface longitude of Apsis. This works. So now, let's see. Converting degrees to degrees, minutes, seconds. So I need to be 258. It's going to put me way out there. Move all. That doesn't actually change my doesn't change it at all. So there's a couple problems here. First of all, I've run into the issue where I didn't do this how I thought I did. To come this way. Except that's backwards. Oh, this is frustrating. Alright, so I would be going from left to right here, which means okay, here we go. That is more or less the correct direction. Of course it slams me into the surface, but you know, take what you can get at this point, right? Ooh, no. Okay, so now I have a maneuver that gets me more or less on the orbit I need to be on. It's going to cost me, you know, 2,000 meters a second, but hey, it's better than nothing. So we're just going to execute that node. In an hour. Fortunately, we have time warp. Come around. Okay, here we go. It's gonna be, looks like a minute and a half burn, maybe? This will get me more or less, ooh, almost perfectly lined up. Hopefully I'm going in the correct direction. If not, we're going to have major issues. So this mission has been completely screwed up, and I might just leave the satellite here and completely redo it. But unfortunately, I don't really have the funds for that either. So alright, we're beginning that burn. There we go, burning all the fuel. There's Jupiter over there. And Uranus. And yep, our periapsis is dipped into the atmosphere and now the ground. Hopefully it will come out on the other side. I do have quite a bit of RCS delta V. Unfortunately, I have no way to provide thrust with my RCS delta V. I can, rotate my spacecraft with it, but I can't thrust with it. So what I might end up doing is just dumping my RCS because I don't really need it. That will lighten my spacecraft, increasing my delta V by just a little bit. This is going to be one heck of a burn. Looks like a 4-minute burn, 5-minute burn. And I can't time warp at all. But what I can do is physics warp. We do that by holding, I believe it's Alt and period. Yes. Now, you don't want to go more than 3 times while physics warping because strange things will happen to your spacecraft. Because what this is doing is it's compressing the physics time frame. So instead of it doing a calculation, let's say every 1 second, it's doing it every 3 seconds. But as you can see, everything is moving much faster despite us being under acceleration. There's Mercury over there. So here we go. We are about halfway through our burn, maybe a little less. And now I'm starting to get worried about my delta V budget. So I'm only going to have about 1,000 meters a second left after this. And I still need to do my circularization maneuvers. So let's check our inclination. There we go. 17 degrees, 16. Good. We are dropping inclination, which is good. Means we are approaching right where we need to be. I have a periapsis again, and it is outside of the atmosphere, so I'm not going to crash. 4, 3, I'm off by about 1 degree, but that's okay. That is okay. So now we're going to change periapsis at apoapsis to, looks like 78,654. So 78.654 kilometers. We'll create that node. That lies almost right on our orbit. See if I can adjust just a little bit. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. Good news is it's only going to take me 173 meters a second of delta V to perform this maneuver, which is good. I'm going to bring that down, bring my apoapsis down once I get to periapsis. And then, well, I should be able to just circularize my orbit at that point. Oh, there we go. I did not actually click the button I thought I clicked. Yep, and there it goes. Moving in the correct direction now. It's really fascinating watching all these orbital maneuvers happen because you can actually see what's going on. Like, you can see that I'm pointing mostly retrograde. That's going to bring my periapsis down. You can watch my periapsis both here in my orbital information window, as well as the actual orbit, and you will see it eventually match up. It's a few seconds away from this burn. There we go. Might adjust the size of my UI for the next episode. It looks kind of small to me. See, I'm off by less than a degree. I'm off by, looks like 0.2 degrees. Yep, I'm off by 0.2 degrees. Says I'm off by 2 degrees. Oh well, I can fix that later. Now, let's circularize at periapsis. And it should be within the 5 or so % that it requires for completion. It will take 600 meters a second. I have 900 meters a second left. So hopefully I'll have enough and it will complete. If not, I can make the necessary correction to my inclination, which is more than likely going to be the part that prevents me from completing this contract. We are approaching periapsis. Moving retrograde, of course. Now, I put this camera on here just kind of as a fun thing. You know, I did it mainly to balance out this spectrometer. And there we go, burning our engine. Because if I did not balance out the spectrometer, then my thrust vector would be off and it would actually cause my satellite to spin, which would make maneuvering it extremely very difficult. We have 300 meters a second left in this burn. And hopefully I will get this designated orbit checkmark. Less than 50 meters a second. There it is. I've reached the designated orbit within acceptable margins. Now I just have to maintain stability for 10 seconds, and this mission will be complete. So, and it turns out it actually doesn't matter if I warp or not. So we just have to sit and wait for 10 seconds. Now I guess it assumes that, there it goes. The contract has completed successfully. I've gained 100,000 funds, 7 science, and 2 rep. So that's all for this episode. I'm Taki117, and remember, it's only rocket science.